DNA replication is the process that allows for duplication of genetic information. This is an important first step in the cell division process that I'm about to discuss. Here are some sequences of genes forming long DNA strands. The DNA strands coil to form the chromosomes in the cell nucleus. Because all of the bases in a sequence of DNA follow strict brain rules, one side of the DNA strand can act as the blueprint for a complete strand during DNA replication. The existing nitrogen bases will attract complementary free-floating nucleosides. Here is a picture of DNA replication. Our DNA is made from two strands, old and new. The old and new strands come together to form a DNA polymer. This bonding follows the pairing rules, with adenine and thymine bonding together and cytosine and guanine bonding together. In this picture, you have one parent DNA strand, and that is being separated and DNA replication is being added into the DNA strand. So now you have two identical DNA strands. In this picture, we have a family tree DNA, and our DNA comes from all over the world. In this picture, you can see that our DNA is passed down from generation to generation. Here is an example of a movie called The Sixth Day, and this movie is being related to DNA replication. Here is another example of a movie called Splice, which is also related to DNA replication.